Hello and welcome to my presentation on the Falls Hotel, my semester-long project. You can see here the front of the building is a literal cascading waterfall of glass and concrete. This was inspired by Gooseberry Falls in Minnesota. And it's kind of the driving narrative around water and water usage in the hotel as one of the main energy savers. On the right there, you can see that we have bike racks outside. We would also take advantage of bike storage in the basement for customers and just patrons of the area to be able to store their bike usage to encourage bike transportation downtown. When you're in the lobby here, the narrative of water and the river is present in the ceiling with the wood beams kind of having that undulating effect of water. And on the floor here, you can see that we have river rock. The water and rainwater of the hotel would literally run over this river walk. There would be glass over it so that people can literally see the water that's being used in the hotel as it travels to the water recycling center in the basement. It's really easy to forget about water and how water is used. So I wanted to make it a very literal visual element, but also remind us of that kind of biophilic design. There's water, there's greenery. Up here on the left, you can see we've got a large green wall that runs the entire length of the building, a lot of greenery hanging in the spaces. This lobby itself would be a destination. You can see that there's large seating areas. We have 3 different countertop for restaurant stalls. We would want this to be a celebration of local processes and local foods. So this would be kind of a local food hall so that the vendors here would be celebrating locally and sustainably sourced foods that would be kind of seasonal and change out. You can see we have a breakfast nook here. I strongly believe that all hotels should have some kind of snack or breakfast nook to be able to offer their guests. So again, offering locally and sustainably sourced foods. We've got our check-in desk to the left over here, and we're gonna go ahead and move on up to the second floor through our skylight because there's quite a bit of daylight that comes through the front facade of the building, but we wanted to take advantage of as much daylight in the space as we could. So I added this skylight in, kind of running parallel in the building next to the elevator shaft. And you can see this is another great opportunity to take advantage of more greenery in the space. It kind of offsets some of the harder surfaces in the space. We've got a lot of concrete, a lot of rammed earth. The rammed earth was, chosen for sustainable and aesthetic reasons. There's a lot of great kind of earth tones that brings. The earth would be locally sourced from Minnesota. So that would be another kind of celebration of Minnesota in the building. And as we travel down the hallway here, you can see that we're getting another kind of viewpoint or vantage point of the cascading waterfall. It would be an experience to be in the lobby, particularly when it rains, so that it really feels like you're on the inside of the waterfall, so that you're really realizing how much you're a part of water and water usage on a day-to-day basis, and how your daily decisions help add up to an overall ecological movement. We're going to take a peek into one of our guest suites, actually. You can see that, again, we're taking advantage of that rammed earth feel. You can see some brickwork here, kind of intentionally incorporating brickwork into the envelope of the building so that the overall aesthetic of the building, while it's very different from the downtown area, the brick helps tie it in. So while this building is very different, it can hopefully be in that brickwork as well, taking advantage of reused materials in the brickwork as well, because there's just certain patinas that you can only achieve with brickwork. There's also a lot of bricks out there that can be reused, so why remake new bricks when we can find bricks that we can just use out there. You can see that each hotel space has its own patio space, which would be a selling point of the hotel. And one thing that would be on the wall is a screen to let customers, that are staying in the hotel know how much water and energy usage they're using while staying at the hotel, so that people are really walking away with an educated experience that expands their awareness of how much water and energy they're using. So you can see there's quite a bit of concrete in the building as well. That's additionally an intentional choice so that recycled concrete aggregate could be used in the building. So you can see that between the rammed earth and the concrete, these are sustainable choices, low VOC emitting materials, all intentional in that way. Right here, we're in one of the 2 fire escape stairs, working our way up to the 4th floor patio. So you can really see how these green spaces kind of offset some of the earth tones and some of kind of the harder surfaces that are kind of incorporated throughout the hotel. As we work our way out onto the patio, you can see that we have solar trees mixed in with green trees. That is intentional. The solar trees, the main intent would be first to light the patio spaces at night with solar energy. So it would be a solar tree that would also be a light emitting tree in the evening so that we're not taking energy off the grid to light these green spaces at night. We all know that in Minnesota, we're not outside all year round. So in the off months, in the winter months, any energy that's gathered from these solar trees would be incorporated back into the actual hotel usage. So it's kind of part of that experience of being on those patios is really seeing those solar trees and really intentionally that they look different to make people notice this is a great space and it's really taking advantage of renewable and sustainable energy choices. We're going to be moving into the 4th floor conference room here and another rentable space. I know that I would love to rent a space like this for a day as like a company retreat because there would be great food restaurants downstairs, great patio space, amenities, and then just the fact that you're in kind of a sustainable hotel kind of gives you that kind of retreat feel for any kind of local businesses to take advantage of as well. And then we'll move on up to the 5th floor or the rooftop patio, this being a really big attraction of the building in and of itself. This would also be a rentable space for weddings and events so that it could be a revenue stream for the hotel. You can see that there is quite a bit of wooden furniture kind of incorporated throughout here. That would be intentional, that it would be FSC certified, locally made. So the furniture would be well maintained. It would probably need to be taken down into the basement year to year so that the winter months wouldn't deteriorate the wood in any way. And as we shift into the evening, you can really see these solar trees kind of come into effect and really make this kind of a cool place to hang out. I know I would love to hang out there, like to get drinks after a show being downtown. And it just really gives you kind of that break from if you don't have the opportunity to maybe get out into greenery, but be able to still be around a lot of green spaces that this hotel would be able to offer you. One goal of the hotel would be able to kind of continually offer events, that can take place on this rooftop or in any of the other kind of public spaces of the building, so that it's giving people incentives to keep coming back to the hotel. So it's not kind of a one and done kind of experience like, oh, I've been to that hotel, I've been to that patio, I don't need to go back. There's reasons to keep going back, whether it's entertainment or maybe an educational focus thing as well. And kind of get a kind of top view here of the hotel, of the patio space. You can see kind of the curvature of the building. And while you're hanging out on the patio, you might be chatting with someone and hear that, hey, there's also a great art exhibit back down on level 1. So you're like, well, I'm going to stop there before I head on out. So the name of the gallery would be the Synergy Hotel. This would be a gallery that focuses on sustainable and eco-focused artists that really have that kind of sustainability focus in mind. So there would be kind of a constant turnover of galleries changing. These would be movable panels so that the gallery space could literally form and configure depending on the artist. So when guests visit this hotel, they're really reflecting on a lot of different ways, all of their eco choices. So in the way that many water drops make up a giant waterfall, all of our individual choices can add up to sustainable change. Thank you for listening.